headlines, Barbados' newest senator is one of the youngest appointed to the upper house. A fatal shooting rocks a family already grieving the loss of a member. Carifesta 15 promising to be a cultural showcase like no other. And in sports, West Indies lose the first test against Australia inside 3 days.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Tisha Hines with the details to the news. One of the youngest people ever elevated to the Barbados Senate was sworn in today. She is 30-year-old social activist and national youth advocate Roshana Trim. The government senator took the oath of office before the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, at State House. Senator Trim, who served in the Barbados National Youth Parliament, Barbados Youth Development Council, and several community groups, says she is thankful to be called to serve at this national level.
I don't know that I was necessarily working towards being a senator, but I do know that I was working towards continuously offering myself in service and in leadership, and so this feels as though it is a progression and one that I appreciate and definitely will value and do my best to ensure that persons who have put their faith in me are not disappointed.
And as Senator Trim prepares for her first sitting in the upper chamber, Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley told her that she's about to enter a different phase of her life.
In these moments, it is important not just to be reflective, but to also understand what you will stand for and what you will bring and whom you shall fight for. And I hope that you will never forget those principles. When I first became a young minister, and ironically, the Deputy President of the Senate is here, I think we were called within 5 minutes of each other by the then Prime Minister, Mr. Owen Arthur. And I went to my father and I told him that he had just been called. And he said to me, "Young lady, you're about to enter a different phase of your life. And you must taste your words before anything else. I give you that advice." And I do so in a world that is consumed with how to fight fake news.
Also attending the swearing-in were Deputy Prime Minister Santia Bradshaw, Attorney General Dale Marshall, other cabinet members, and the new senator's mother and brother. Senator Trim is filling the vacancy left by Minister of Educational Transformation Chad Blackman, who resigned from the Senate to successfully contest the St. James North by-election on a Barbados Labour Party ticket. Staying at State House, that's where seniors were reminded that they have a role to play in shaping the future of the country. Deputy Prime Minister Santia Bradshaw says elders in communities can work with the younger generation, encouraging them to walk the right path. She says this is needed at this time when Barbadians are concerned about the level of crime and violence in society. She made the appeal as 20 people from the parish of St. George and one living in the diaspora were bestowed national honours by the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados.
Barbadians are asking themselves, who are we and what are we doing to be able to even combat the issues of crime and violence in this country. I think today you are an example of the work that needs to be done within communities, one by one, across the length and breadth of this country. And our acknowledge of each of you as individuals is intended to inspire others, not only in the St. George community, but to inspire others in your respective disciplines, in your respective communities, to be able to not only surpass you, but also to certainly be able to continue the work that you have started.
The constituents from St. George who have given back to their communities in various ways are the latest recipients of the Pride of Barbados Award as part of We Gather in 2025. Among them is former Postmaster General Joel Brathwaite, who was recognized for his significant contributions to improving the lives and livelihoods of residents of St. George and the economic enfranchisement of many vulnerable persons in the parish. Mr. Brathwaite says he's pleased to receive the award.
As our Minister for St. George South, he's also a product of the Elton Gospel Hall and a lot of others whose life have been influenced by the work that service, that community has done. The community has benefited as a result of the work that was done by person at Elton Gospel. So I'm just a representative, I would say, of that work. And I thank God for the opportunity to influence personal lives spiritually and in a way that I think is missing today.
Awardees are Sharon Brathwaite, Lloyd Burrows, Alicia Catwell, Linderson Estwick, Marva Green, Kim Holder, Henry Innes, Nigel Johnson, Cora Jordan, Steve Anderson Kelman, Jefferson Curtin, George Knight, Jefferson Lashley, Martin Marshall, Captain Gilmore Mitchell, Janelle Odell, Michael Power, Luther Sutherland, Evan Wickham, and Kathy Elliott. Excitement for Carifesta 15 is building as some of the region's best cultural exponents prepare to showcase their talents. Following the opening of the 31st meeting of the Regional Cultural Committee at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre, the festival was launched. Our Anesta Henry was there and she files this report.
The first Caribbean Festival of Arts was held in Guyana in 1972. 53 years later, the event, which is held every 2 years, will take place in Barbados between August 22nd and the 31st. And Prime Minister Mia Motley, who is also the sitting chair of CARICOM, is promising that Carifesta 15 will be the most spectacular festival of Caribbean arts ever, beyond expectations.
This is why Carifesta 15 will be no ordinary festival. We intend to be true to our theme of Caribbean roots, global excellence, as we reflect on and celebrate and showcase who we truly are. What it will be is the explosive unleashing of the grand reservoir of Caribbean creativity and capacity for celebration. Yes, yes, we have earned this moment, and we must claim it. Carifesta will commemorate where we've come from, where we are at this moment in time, and where we're going on our road to transformation.
To ensure this edition of the festival is a success, a national organizing committee to support the Secretariat, along with key agencies, have been activated. Programming highlights include super concerts, icon nights, a youth village, major theatrical productions, AI integration in performances and event production, daily fashion shows, big conversations, performances from world-renowned dance companies, wellness day activities, and a culinary showcase. A Ghana contingent is also expected to be here. Chief Executive Officer of the National Cultural Foundation and the Carifesta 15 Festival Director, Cara Roberts, says Barbados is ready to deliver.
Carifesta is a regional festival being staged in Barbados, not a Barbados festival with regional components. And it is very important to remember that as we get ready to host the world, either in person or digitally on the multiple platforms. This is our moment as a region. This is our moment as a country to show off the very best of who we are in the most magical of ways.
The theme for Carifesta 15 is Caribbean Roots Global Excellence. Program Manager, Culture and Community Development at the CARICOM Secretariat, Dr. Hilary Brown, says systems continue to be put in place to ensure Carifesta is more dynamic, economically viable, and meets the expectations of regional and international audiences. Dr. Brown is also commending Barbados for its state of readiness and is especially pleased that the showcasing of Caribbean culture and creativity will feature a youth village.
To the government and people of Barbados for demonstrating your commitment to culture, your commitment to regional integration, and your commitment to CARICOM's togetherness. In a few days, Barbados will be abuzz with Carifesta 15, and I know it will be an unforgettable experience.
This is the third time Barbados is hosting Carifesta, having done it already in 1981 and 2017. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Thanks, Anesta. Coming up, a young man loses his life under tragic circumstances. A St. George family was thrown into a state of shock yesterday evening when a young man was gunned down outside a funeral home where he was viewing the body of his brother. Our cameraman, Chris Wood, and our Anesta Henry visited the grieving relatives.
27-year-old Roshan Brathwaite of Valleyland, St. George, had just exited a funeral home after viewing the body of his brother, Kevin Ford, who died following a vehicle collision along Pollard's Land, St. Philip, on June 8th. While Roshan was outside the building, two masked men emerged from a vehicle along Bush Hall Main Road and shot him multiple times, causing his family members to scatter. He was transported by private vehicle to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, where he died. One family member, who asked not to be identified, recounted the horrifying moments.
All of us ran. Roshan fell to the ground. Those guys came over him and shot him more. Then they got back in the car and they left. This guy had his 2-year-old niece in his hand. And those heartless people shot that guy with this little girl in his hand. In front, his grandmother, his grandfather, his aunts, his mother of that grieving, his brother, her son. 2 sons this lady lost in a horrific accident.
The family has decided to go ahead with the burial of 25-year-old Kevin, who died a week after his 25th birthday. The relative said the family is in a state of shock and disbelief that his brother is now gone, also under tragic circumstances. And they will now have to bury him too.
Roshan loved his family. Love his family. His mother. He loved bikes. He's not none of those violent bike men. For the time he was a baby, for the time he's a little boy, he used to ride a bicycle, you know. I just really up and down the gap, a bicycle. And then he started to like bikes. And he was riding, you know, put the wheel up and stuff. He went to St. Lucia, Trinidad and stuff, and with the bike group.
Meanwhile, another relative who also requested not to be identified says the family is praying for police to capture the perpetrators.
This is a praying family, and you guys disrespected our family by what you did. And we're going to be praying that God will change one or two, because this got to stop. We could have lost our niece, this 2-year-old baby. We could have lost her. And when a disrespectful act of viewing.
Roshan would have celebrated his 28th birthday on Monday. Relatives say his mother, Ancilla Brathwaite, who now has lost both of her children, is struggling to come to grips with what has happened. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
And now to another concerning story. At the Bridgetown Fisheries Complex, a violent confrontation forced workers and users of the facility to flee to safety this morning. Our Crystal Hoyt has more details.
An argument between 2 men working at the Bridgetown Fisheries Complex erupted into a bloody battle involving 3 of them. It sent other users of the facility scampering for safety. At the end of it, 1 man needed medical attention and was transported to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Another was in police custody, assisting with investigations into the matter. Well-known fish vendor Sharon Bellamy Thompson described the stabbing incident as unfortunate.
One of the guys, the one who has been chopped up, he's my very good friend. It's unfortunate that what happened this morning happened. I just saw people running and stuff like that. And when I came, I was so shocked to know that actually the last person I spoke with this morning was the one who has been chopped up. But here at the fish market, you know, they would quarrel and they would say all kind of things, and you know, but they never use a sword here at this market. Only thing they use a sword is to chop the fish.
Vice President of the Bridgetown Fisheries Complex, Delbert Ford, recounted the events, suggesting the altercation is reflective of broader societal issues.
Well, it is a disturbance that I had here between two of the workers. One was chopping the other one, and another one got involved in throwing bottles, and I contacted the police. The police responded. Then the ambulance was called too as well. This is work family, you understand? We need to find ways, and this is the problem we have in society right now. We need to find ways to solve any little disagreements, any noise. This body don't speak to that body, you understand?
Police investigations are ongoing. Crystal Hoyt, CBC News.
And the Barbados Police Service recovered a number of firearms during a dragnet and several operations with the Barbados Defence Force over the last 2 days. This was disclosed by Police Communications and Public Affairs Officer Inspector Ryan Brathwaite, who says the BPS continues to conduct investigations into the recent spate of murders and robberies all across the island.
Barbados Police Service is continuing its robust investigations into the recent spate of murders and robberies across the island. Over the past several days, a series of strategic operations have been executed, resulting in significant progress. As a direct result of these operations, the Barbados Police Service, in conjunction with the Barbados Defence Force, have successfully seized 4 firearms and a quantity of ammunition. Several individuals are currently in custody and are assisting police with ongoing inquiries related to these seizures.
And Inspector Brathwaite says they will continue to address the criminal activity and in a timely manner.
The Barbados Police Service wishes to reassure the public that all available resources are being deployed to address these incidents. We remain committed to working tirelessly to bring this unattainable situation to an end and to ensure the safety and security of all residents.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power In, Pause is Power, and by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
And Damien Best is in. That means it's time for sports. Good evening to you, Damien.
Yeah, good evening to you, Tisha. All systems are go for the highly anticipated Barbados Grand Prix set for next Saturday at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex. CBC's Anne Margaret Boyce has an update.
A mixture of some of the region's most established and promising athletes will assemble next Saturday at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex for the first edition of a historic athletics meet. The Barbados Grand Prix, the brainchild of Carifesta medalist Aaron Spencer, will see the likes of World Championship bronze medalist and Commonwealth Games champions Shade Williams of Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago's Michelle Iai, along with several Carifesta Games champions, including the Frederick twin, Soleil and Soné of Trinidad and Tobago, and the Barbados-born Devontae Howell, who competes for Cayman Islands. Along with Williams, who will headline the women's 400-meter Sagicor Bank event, fans can look forward to the return of Barbadian Olympians Akila Jones and Mario Burke, along with the highly anticipated Empire Builders 200-meter. Chairman and meet director Andre Proco says organizers are overwhelmed with the high level of interest.
We are very excited about the meet. We have it's going to be a great meet, very exciting. We have lots of talent, as Rupert mentioned. Just briefly overview, we have there are at least last count 15 Olympians who are coming. In addition to that, when you add up those who have also gone to World Championships and that sort of thing, there are about 41 of those. There's even one person who was at Grand Slam track who will be attending our meet. So we're very excited about the level of talent that we have. So it's going to be very, very exciting. And we've gotten calls from far afield throughout the region, going to Canada, USA.
Marketing manager of Sagicor Bank, Dwayne Rowell, says the partnership is part of their commitment to the development of track and field on the island.
We want to underscore that our support goes beyond the track. This partnership represents our commitment to empowering dreams and supporting the communities we serve steadfastly every single day. We're thrilled to be inviting athletes from the knapsack level and BSAT level to experience the Barbados Grand Prix firsthand, sponsored by Sagicor Bank. So these students represent the future of athletics in Barbados, and we believe it's our responsibility to give them a front row seat to watch this vision come alive.
The World Athletics Recognized meet will also be used as a qualifier for the World Championships, and track and field powerhouses Jamaica will be competing in the men's 4x100 meter relay event. And Mark Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
Unprecedented growth at CIBC Caribbean Bank. The revelation from Chief Executive Officer Mark Centil as he addressed the client cocktail reception at Mahogany Ridge, St. Thomas last evening. Speaking to a cross-section of industry stakeholders, the bank chief told the gathering the bank had reduced its outlets but were poised for inspired growth. Trevor Thorpe reports.
The top bank official was in an upbeat mood as he discussed the bank's record performance over the past 3 years. He called it unprecedented growth and thanked the public for the confidence it had reposed in the finance institution, which had made CIBC the leading bank in Barbados and the Caribbean.
All that we have achieved over the last 3 years, and we have had unprecedented growth, it's all because of you. And again, I thank you for that. And just to illustrate that unprecedented growth in the last 3 years, our network has moved from 26 million transactions per year to, we ended fiscal 24 doing 35 million transactions. And already we are on track to do 38 million transactions. Imagine 38 million transactions going through our network. So again, I thank you.
The CEO said the bank had recorded unprecedented growth in the number of new clients on its books, which had resulted in the bank moving to the #1 spot in the marketplace.
In fiscal 24, we only had 464,000 clients, and we divested of 7 countries. And yet, we ended fiscal 24 at 520,000 clients. Again, we could not have done this without your support. So, as my task is simple, I thank you. And I thank you from the bottom of all 2,700 employees.
Newly appointed country manager Kemar Polius said he is happy to have been appointed to the position.
We have been reshaping our business, and we've reduced our regional footprint to 10 territories, allowing us to be laser focused on the clients in the countries that we are serving now. The revised country model we've implemented is more fit for purpose and allows us to be closer to our markets and our clients. It will help us to improve the systems and processes that hinder greater operational efficiency. This all shows just how serious we are creating a bank that is indeed future-proof and that we are meeting that future head-on.
The bank officials say these are exciting times for the bank and they are grateful for the relationships. Trevor Thorpe for the Business Report.
Observing the shipwrecks and spotting the turtles at night. That's part of the unique concept behind the newest coastal night cruises launched by Top Cat Cruises Barbados. The Business Report's Trevor Thorpe met with Managing Director Sean Morris aboard the vessel to learn more.
It's the official launch of Back to the Beat night cruises, which Top Cat Cruises Barbados describes as cruising in a safe space at sea. Managing Director Sean Morris says the success of their earlier Break the Ice Forerunner cruises helped set the tone for this fresh new concept. According to him, the goal is to offer guests a soothing, immersive experience with a new vibe that blends relaxation, discovery, and entertainment under the stars.
So far, we had beautiful response. You know, we had some support already from places like Parliament and the Create staff, and people coming out and enjoying the stuff. We had good crowds so far, and so far everything is looking well.
He says Top Cat Cruises could soon be among the choices of hotel and tourism officials, bolstered by being an option for crop-over events in Bridgetown.
We have the space. We got 2 bars on board. We got 4 bathrooms, so it's like a floating hotel, mini hotel. So it could do nice stuff. It could host a lot of people, maybe 200 people. So I think it's a suitable boat for what they might be looking to do. You know, if they have guests coming in from overseas, or if they want to plan any kind of social gatherings. I mean, some of the other boats carry like 50, maybe 60, but we carry the capacity of 200, and we're flat and more easier to, to accommodate stuff like that.
Ensuring nothing is left to chance, Captain John Whitney goes through a safety drill with crew and guests.
Safety at all given times before I actually leave to sail. Check the weather forecast, make sure the weather is good, have a briefing with my crew on what's going on, that when we get out there, it's all about 100% safety, that my crew is safe and my passengers are safe.
Ship officials called the Night Cruise Initiative an outreach program, given the rich history of Carlisle Bay and the many wrecks along the coastline of Barbados. Trevor Thorpe for the Business Report.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power In, Pause is Power, and by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Time now for more sports with Damien Best.
Yeah, thanks so much, Tisha. Well, Harrison College and Christchurch Foundation have retained their girls and boys volleyball titles respectively when the finals were contested recently at the Wildy Gym. Tonight, CBC's Amory Burt reports on the girls' contest.
One final huddle, the teams vibes up, final instructions given, and the girls from Christchurch Foundation took to the court to face the girls from Harrison College. By the end of it all, the school's volleyball champion would be crowned. Right into the action, the college girls started hot on the trot, claiming the first 5 points. Foundation looking to make something of this play, but it was picked up. So college now have a go at it. They set it up, and coming in from the left with power is Talia Sandiford. With the serving duties was Chelsea Broom, and she was in a rhythm. Foundation again trying to make something of it, but not to be. Another free pass to the girls from Crumpton Street, and with the firepower, Sandiford spikes again. Broom then added an ace in the mix right in front court. Foundation in early trouble. But after a quick timeout, the girls from Churchill finally came to the party. Shantae Gill flooring Broom in the process. And from here, the match really started. Gabrielle Sandiford with an ace. But while the girls from Churchill had fought back by virtue of having the strongest start, the college girls sealed the first set in their favor. Ball into the net. First dibs to college at 25-15. College started the second set as they did the first, claiming the early points. Kuzuran Batson with the cross-court spike. But things were playing out way differently this time. It was point for point. And longer rallies, college gifted a free ball, aiming to get it together, but instead that challenge was passed to Foundation, and watch the setup and execution. Finishing touch by Gill. Foundation with the serve, and quickly it's back in their court. And more fire, Sandiford again. There was more fire from the Churchill camp. Watch his block at the net. Epic. So nice, they did it twice. The game looking to be pulled level. But the college girls were not going down without a fight, keeping it close, just 2 points off at this stage, 20-22. And when Foundation thought they had it, no, the ball is kept in play. College also digging deep, and then Batson with sweet luck dropping in court. We are going down to the wire. But Foundation, they were intent to make a true game of this final, and with this inched ahead to the delight of their fans. And this was a crucial serve, 26-25. Foundation need to win it to take the second set. A good save and recovery, and it drops inside back court. Foundation 27-25. We are all tied up at a set apiece. So here we go, first to 15, and of course the college girls wasted no time in getting ahead. Actually at this stage it was 9-1, and they were going for it. We'll make that 10-1. It almost seemed that Foundation had just thrown the towel in. The college girls could taste that title now. And here is where it was won. Foundation just not getting control. College taking the final set at 15-7. And our Julie under-16 girls volleyball champions. The title remains in Crumpton Street. Anne-Marie Burt, CBC Sports.
Yeah, thanks, Anne-Marie. In the girls' third-place playoff, the Lodge School defeated the St. Michael's School 25-17, 20-25, 15-11. Well, C.O. Williams Rangers continued their strong showing in the Dasani Power 8 Barbados Netball Premier League as they claimed Wow Shotters as their latest victims, winning 51-27. With a look at the matchup is CBC's Anne-Marie Burke.
C.O. Williams Rangers in the yellow totally dominated this game with a Wow Shotters, as one of their key players outside of the shooters was center Celicia Auguste. She was instrumental in getting the plays executed. With the ball knocked out of court, she was pivotal in ensuring that the throwing was made worthwhile. And she finds shooter Charlene Jordan, and of course the goal was converted. This is not to say that Shotters did not have some good plays. We're heading down court, and wing attack sends a nice overhead lob into shooter Nikita Cyrus, and Shotters get a goal. Rangers center pass, and watch as we get some strong direct passes expressed to the circle, where Jordan ensures she's in a good position, and from long range, she nets. End of the first, they were up 15-7. On the back foot and shooting up court now, Shotters try to pull themselves back into the game, as Cyrus was making every pass to her count. On the other end, Rangers were still on point, all hands on deck, and despite some tight defense, worked the ball around. And once Jordan got the ball, every attempt goal was made, regaining the rebound here to make wrong things right. Shotters still keeping up, and where the openings came, the goals were registered. But Rangers were not easing off and kept the pressure on, all hands on deck. And once into the circle, that play was complete. And as by the halftime, they were up 24-16. After leading 39-22 at the end of the third, and with a change in the circle that was just as effective, Rangers were simply the better team on the night. Nice holding on to the ball by Demia Waldron, and she makes it look so easy. Rangers going on to take the win over Shotters by a whopping 24-point margin, 51-27. Anne-Marie Burt, CBC Sports.
That's news. Thank you so much for staying with us. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.